So, ang sinet ko so far yung mga short problem, okay, are module 7, but module 8 will be coming soon. But yung sinet ko sa inyong recorded lectures, those are my lectures when I first taught Chem 18 in ano bang sem yung second semester noong 2020 to 2021. Okay, if you're going to look at the date, there is around June. Okay, so the same material yung aanuhin natin doon. Okay, so I want you to spend that time, mamaya pagtapos na tayo, okay, and then when we meet, okay, if you have any question, okay, we're going to what we call tackle about it. Now, my question is, how is your exam 3? Hindi pa kami inaalaw ipakita yung grade nyo. Tama ba yung advice ko sa inyo that the exam is just tricky? So the best thing for you to do is at least be careful and try to understand the question that is being given. Ano yung experience nyo? Teka, ano ko? I-off the record natin to. So if we're going to look at here, your fourth exam is on January 4 to 11, finals week. Wala pang sked. So, what do you plan to do? You want to do the review before Christmas or after Christmas? What can you say? Kailan nyo gustong mag-review for the fourth exam? Sa 21? Or before the exam and after maybe New Year? We're going to utilize maybe 4. Hopefully hindi sa 4 yung exam. It's time for you to suggest. Class. How about yung iba? I am amenable to that. Kaya nga para sabihin nyo walang conflict, we're going to set the 4. But this is my worry. Kasi meron kayong ibang course. What if yung exam nyo doon is on January 4? Now, when that happened, our next choice is going to meet what? The Monday on that. But my worry is meron kayong, alam niyo yun yung conflict in schedule. Kasi ang nangyayari kapag review lang, hindi kayo pressured. Pero kapag exam na, may added pressure. If you're going to look at the material, this is what we have. See that? So, if you're going to look at this, the redox reaction. So in the lecture, we have the Leora and then the Geroa, right? So are you still familiar with what is that? Gain electrons reduction oxidation number of oxidizing agent, and then lose electron oxidation and reducing agent. Okay, so how do you know if there's a redox reaction? Usually you look at the change in the oxidation number. So if you're going to press to this link, meron kayong material na makikita dyan. So expected na na merong question about oxidation number. So for instance, okay, if you're asked for an oxidation number, let's say we have an example here. So I will just be specific. So what is the oxidation number, let's say, of N in NH2 compared to the N in NHO3? Okay, so if you look at the lecture, ang alam nyo na beforehand kung alin yung oxidation number is the hydrogen and the oxygen. So hydrogen in most cases is +1, oxygen is -2. So if we're going to do this one, okay, so +1 plus N plus -2 times 2 equals to 0, which is the charge. Okay, so if this is 1, this is N, so this will become what? -2 plus 3, so plus -4. So N is equals to what? So if you're going to look at this, N is equals to +3 because +1 plus -4 says -3. So you swap it to the other side. So N is equals to +3. Now on the other hand here, so if you have this N, so the same thing, this is +1, this is -2. So you have what? +1 plus N plus -2 times 3. So this is -6, and this is equals to 0. So when you have that, N is just equals to +5. And there's always a question like this. Kaya? So I want you to go over at least tong question na to, because if you notice, sa tatlong exam ninyo, lahat ng question ninyo is based on the module. Ang ginagawa lang namin, sabi ko na namin is we try to make it tricky. And you can only get it correctly if you really understand deeper yung concept na tinutukoy namin. Okay? And then identifying what we call the redox reaction. So you can go to this one here, to the resources, and you're going to talk about here the Hop reaction. Now, I have example there on Hop reaction doon sa balancing redox equation. So I would say you go on that one. Although the one that they have here is different. They use the so-called CON. So CON is change in oxidation number. But I don't know. I find the Hop reaction much better compared to this one. And anyway, when you are asked for the balancing of redox reaction, whether you do it by Hop reaction or change in oxidation number, it's still the same. Yung balance redox reaction, pareho lang siya. So, can you answer the question here? Sa tingin nyo? So what is carbon here? So if you're going to look at the answer key here, so ito yung mga example na meron doon. I want you to go over them. Okay. So remember what I told you? Just want to make sure you understand. So meron tayong Leora versus Geroa. So ano yung Leora? Lost electron, oxidation, reducing agent. And then gain electron, reduction, oxidizing agent. So if I'm not mistaken, in my example, I think ito yung binigay ko. So alin dyan ang na-oxidize? Alin dyan yung undergo ng reduction? So to answer the question here, you need to know the oxidation number. So any elemental, any elements at their room temperature will have an oxidation number of 0. So 0 agad to. Tapos ito, okay, they are ionic compounds. So kung ano yung charge nito, yun yung oxidation number. So as you could see here, magnesium becomes what? From 0 to +2. So ano to? Nag-loss or gain ng electron? So if you lost the negativity, you become more positive. So this is what we call lost electron. Okay? So ito yun na-oxidize. So yung isa naman, from oxygen, from 0, naging -2. So more negative. So ito yung nag-gain. So ito yung na-reduce. Now, ang question now is, what is the oxidizing agent? What is the reducing agent? So, redox reaction can only happen simultaneously. So, pag may nag-loss ng electron, ibig sabihin na nag-gain ng electron nun. So, kapag yung isa nag-oxidize, responsible siya sa reduction ng isa. So, yung na-oxidize siya yung reducing agent. Now, yung na-reduce naman, responsible siya doon sa oxidation ng isa. So, if I'm going to put here, what is OA? Mg or O2? Okay, so OA here would be the oxygen. You just don't put O. You have to put O2 because that's the species that you have there. Right? And the reducing agent is usually magnesium. Now, what's the other way for you to know this one? Usually the reducing agent are metal. Magnesium is a metal. And the oxidizing agent usually contain oxygen. Ano yung chemical principles sa bleach? Anyone? Ano bang bleach sa Tagalog? Clorox? Anong bleach sa Tagalog, class? Or in the first place, alam niyo ba anong bleach? Saan ginagamit yung bleach? Sige nga. Pampaputi. Asan na iba? Bakit hindi nagpa-participate yung iba? Okay? So, ano yung chemistry doon sa pampaputi niya? So, usually, yung bleach siya yung oxidizing agent. Ino-oxidize lang niya yung dirt para mawala. Kaya, ang bleach ay pwede lang gamitin saan? Sa clothes.
Sa puti po.
Sa puti. Kasi kapag gumamit ka ng kulay, anong nangyayari sa kulay? Kukupas, right? So, yun yung principle yun, the oxidation. Now, if we're going to go on the other step here, okay, so try to work on this one, huh? So, meron naman tayong tinatawag na electrode potential. So, ang main, we could say, contribution ng electrochemistry sa mankind is, I think that's one of the greatest contribution. So, if you watch the Planet of the Apes, dinidepict nila yung dalawang contribution ng chemistry sa mankind. One is medicine, and the other one is electricity. So, sa electricity, ang unang nagawa dyan ay yung battery. Okay? So, meron tayong tinatawag na voltaic cell. So, I want you to go on this one, the learning resource material here, to discuss about the battery. Okay? So, sa battery, redox reaction lang din yan. Okay? I want you to look at my notes or my lecture. Watch it. So, here, you just have what? An anode where oxidation takes place and a cathode where reduction takes place. So, meron kang metal that serves as your electrode that are dipped to this so-called electrolyte. Okay? Tapos meron kang tinatawag na salt bridge. So, anong ginagawa ng salt bridge? So, if you're going to look at the anode, so yung pag-travel ng electron is from alphabetical, from A to C, from anode to cathode. So, kapag nag-travel yung electron dito, ano mangyayari dito sa charge sa side na to? Anyone? Positive, negative? This is just a review to the what we call lecture that I asked you to watch. Okay? So this become negative kasi diyan pumupunta yung electrons. Ano ba yung electrons? Ano yung charge ng electrons? The electrons are negatively charged. So nagiging negative charge to. Ito naman, nawawala ng electron. Ito yung nagiging positive. Is that clear? Okay? Now, what do we need to do to make sure na hindi ito nagiging negative at hindi ito nagiging positive? You put the salt bridge. So the salt bridge, since ito ay negative, pupunta doon yung positive charge or yung cation. Now ito, since this is positive, kasi nawawala ng electron, pupunta doon yung anions. So salt bridge just maintain the electron neutrality. Okay. Now here you can write it in voltaic cell notation. So ito lang to, anode lang to. And if you're going to look at the reaction there, this is just the reactant producing the product. Okay, so copper to copper 2+. So that's oxidation. Oxidation always takes place in the anode, whether you have a voltaic cell or the other type of cell. So yung voltaic cell, usually it's spontaneous and it is produce electricity. Now yung electrolytic cell naman, it is non-spontaneous, and for the reaction to happen, you have to apply energy. Okay? So this is, we could say, the voltaic cell. And then we have the reduction potential. So if you're going to look at this, so meron kang table na tinatawag na reduction potential. So the table will guide you which metal will undergo oxidation and which metal will undergo reduction. So usually the metal that has a lower reduction potential, that serves as your anode kasi siya yung nag-oxidize. And the metal that has the higher reduction potential, yun yung cathode. Now you use the value, you whatever written in the reduction table, and then you subtract, yun yung magiging cell potential mo. I'm not sure here. So this one. So if you're asked which one will be the cathode and which one will be anode between silver ion and Fe3+. Okay, so if this is the silver, and then you have Fe3+, maybe the other Fe3+ kung nandito, kung wala, edi yan na lang. So there's an Fe2 here. So wala yung isang Fe3+, kasi itong Fe3+ na to, isang electron lang yung nawawala. So if you have this reaction here, so you could say, this is the cathode, and this is the anode. Why? Because this has a higher reduction potential compared to this one.
Kasi may kagrupo kami.
Okay? So if we're going to continue here, so meron kang electrolytic cell or electrolysis. So in the electrolysis or electrolytic cell, you use energy para mag-run yung reaction. So if you're going to look at this, okay, so electrolysis is just, I'm not sure, do you do soldering? Yung mahilig sa electronics, if ever still exists. So here you apply electricity, okay, for the reaction to happen. Let's say if you have water, if you apply electricity to water, what will happen to water? It will form hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, so I'm going to, I already have the quantitative aspect of electrolysis, so siguro ipo-forward ko sa inyo yung sample problem nito. The coverage of electrochemistry is wide, to tell you frankly, and the recorded lecture that I asked you to watch covered all the aspect that is written here, including the later part here. Ano yung relationship ng cell potential, yung Gibbs free energy, tsaka K. So class, I'm begging you, please watch the recorded lecture. Okay? And we will utilize the last meeting for every question and what we call the review day before your exam, kung kailan man yung final exam ninyo. Because right now, you can only answer the questions that you have here if you watch. Now the question, pinanood nyo na ba yung may COVID ako? Kasi ang ina-assume ko, if we don't meet, you're going to utilize the time to watch the video. Now, ang problema sa inyo, if we don't meet, you also don't do your stuff. Tapos, aasar tayo sa synchronous, but the problem is, after COVID, I cannot focus myself already. So, the safe way to do it is we could say, you watching over the recorded lecture. Same material lang yung class. Okay? I can assure you, yung material na yun yung makakatulong sa inyo to understand the concept. Now, the question, did you watch it? Okay? Because the coverage of this electrochemistry and kinetics, it could be wide. At kung hindi kayo, hindi nyo pinanood yun, well, hindi nyo talaga maintindihan yung concept. So if I'm not mistaken, there's 2 videos on electrochemistry and I just posted 2 videos of kinetics. So after you watch those videos, okay, you should be able to answer the question here. So if we're going to answer the question here, so complete the table below for a comparison of voltaic and electrolytic cells. So reaction at the anode. Ano yung sagot nyo? Okay, so reaction at the anode, both voltaic cell and electrolytic cell will have what? Oxidation. Now, sign of the anode, it's always what? What is anode? Negative. Reaction at the cathode, it's always reduction. Now, sign of the cathode, okay, that is always what we call positive, right? And then direction of the electron movement, so it's always what? A to C. Kahit electrolytic cell or voltaic cell. Saan lang sila nagkakaiba? Dito. Saan siya is spontaneous? Anyone? These are the typical questions that will come out. And here, hindi pwedeng tricky. You have to be 100% sure. So at which cell it is spontaneous? So at least right now, you should have an overall concept. As I've told you, one produce energy and one use energy. So the one that produce energy, it happens because it is spontaneous. Now, the one that use energy, okay, you need electricity or energy. Okay? So, in terms of spontaneity, yung voltaic cell, spontaneous siya. At since siya is spontaneous, nagproproduce siya ng energy. Na yung electrolytic cell, hindi siya spontaneous. So, paano siya magpo-proceed? Kailangan mo i-apply ng electricity. So, arrange the following increasing order of effectiveness as reducing agent. So, how do we have question like that? AL, AU, CU. Sige nga. So, ito yung ano natin ngayon. So, AL, AU, CU. So what do we need here? We need to go to the reduction potential. Okay? So ang question dito, arrange the following in order effectiveness of reducing agent. So ano ibig sabihin niya? The higher and the lower. Okay? So if you're going to look at the reduction potential, ito yun. So you have AL. That's an AL. Just wait. Kunin ko yung, hindi ko makita eh. Asan na ba yung USB ko? I'm just going to open my file. Baka mas madami yung metal na nandoon. Ano tayo mo makita? Makita pa. Yun, makita ka. Example. Gusto na yun. There you go. Kasi hindi kumpleto yung ano eh. So, here we compare. AL AU and CU. So you have here the AL 1.50 AU. Saan yung AL natin? Negative 166. So we're going to write that. And then the copper. Where's the copper now? There's a copper 2 plus, so that's 0.34. So AU, okay, 0.34. Okay, so how does the reaction looks like? So you have this, and this. So ano to? Is this oxidation or reduction? What reaction is this, class? Is this oxidation or reduction? Remember the loss and gain of electron.
Oxidation.
Is this oxidation or reduction? Where is the electron? Reactant side. So is that a gain or loss of electron? Is this a gain or loss of electron? So this is a gain. Okay? Anong mo na gain or loss siya? So if it's in the reactant side, ibig sabihin, nakukuha mo siya. You gain it. If it's in the product side, you lost it. So if you lost it, that's oxidation. If you gain it, that is reduction. So what does this tells us? Anong ibig sabihin nito? So if we're going to rank there, this is 155, and this is the next one. .34, and this is what we call BAL. So ano ibig sabihin nito? Kapag mataas to, siya yung nag-undergo ng reduction. Yung mas mababa, nag-undergo ng oxidation. Now, kapag nag-undergo ka ng reduction, ano ka? Oxidizing agent or reducing agent? Aray po. So kapag nag-undergo ka ng reduction, ikaw yung oxidizing agent. Kasi, ang ginagawa mo, ino-oxidize mo yung mas mababa yung reduction potential kaysa sa'yo. Now, ano yung question? If you're going to look at the module, kasi ito yung mga tipo ng question na tatanungin. Okay? So, the module asks here, arrange the following in order of effectiveness as reducing agent. So, alin dyan ang pinaka-effective na reducing agent? Okay? So, if we're going to go again here, so anong ibig sabihin nito? Itong AU3 plus mo, yan ay what? Oxidizing agent or reducing agent? At yung AU mo, ano yan? Oxidizing or reducing agent? So if this one undergo reduction, so that means this is your oxidizing agent. At ang pinakamalakas na oxidizing agent ay ito. Because it's going to oxidize anyone that is a lower reduction potential. Tama ba? Now, if we're going to look at the reducing agent, you have to do it on the other way around here. So, kapag mababa yung reduction potential mo, yung product mo, mas malakas yung kanyang role as a reducing agent because it's going to reduce anything that has a higher reduction potential yung nasa reactant side. Tama ba? Nakuha nyo?
Yes, sir.
Because this is the thing that can be tricky if you don't understand. Yun yung nagpapatricky eh. Okay? So the secret for anything to be tricky is for you to understand the concept. And when I say understand, deep understanding of the concept. Ito kasi yung mga ano na hindi na covered nung lecture. Kaya iniisa-isa ko ngayon. Okay? And if you have this one for the reaction equal, okay, based on this notation below, write the oxidation half reaction, reduction half reaction, and the net reaction. So it's always anode and cathode. And the way that you're going to do that, if you follow, okay, i-write mo lang siya as is. So if you're going to have there, so you have here what? Cr plus 3 electron producing Cr3 plus. Tapos yung isa, tin2 plus. No, I think mali ako. Erase. So Cr S producing Cr3 plus aqueous plus 3 electrons. So that is oxidation reduction. Is this oxidation or reduction? This is oxidation. Now the other one, you just follow based on that thing. So tin2 plus, so dalawang electron yan. So you have tin. So this is, I put this as O, this is the R. Now how do we write the net reaction here? So as you could see, there's 3 electrons here, there's 2. So you cross multiply. So you multiply this by 2. So this one becomes 6. So this becomes 2, and then you multiply by 3. This becomes 6. This becomes 3. So you cancel out the 6 electrons. So you have here 2 Cr plus 3 tin2 plus, producing 2 Cr3 plus 3 C. Are we clear? You know, the thing that will make this difficult, there's an infinite way to have examples or questions on this. Now, number 4. Ano sagot nyo dyan?
How does this work?
Anong sagot dyan? So for the reaction Au3 plus 3 electrons producing Au, the reduction potential is 1.498. What is the reduction potential for the reaction 2Au3 plus 6 electrons producing 2 Au? The answer is the same. Because the cell potential is an internal property. It doesn't depend on the amount. Kuha ba? Gets it, class? And it is in the lecture that whatever is the amount, it will be the same. Now for this one, a voltaic cell consists of a silver electrode in a silver nitrate and a cadmium electrode in a 1 molar cadmium chloride. So for this voltaic cell to work, which electrode should be the anode and which one should be the cathode? So you need the reduction potential here. So the one that has the higher reduction potential, that's the cathode. And the one that is a lower potential, that's the anode. So silver and cadmium. So tingnan natin sa table so you can have an idea about this. So cadmium, okay, that is negative 0.40. Silver, 0.80. So 0.80 versus negative 0.40. So this is the cadmium, this is the silver. So, ano yung question again? For this voltaic cell, which electrode should be the anode? So, alin yung anode? Anyone? What is the anode? Is it the silver or the cadmium? And what is the cathode? Okay, so the anode is the one that has the lower reduction potential, and the cathode is the one that has the highest reduction potential. That is true if you have a voltaic cell. If it's the other cell, well, it depends on the given reaction. Okay, now if you're going to get the cell potential for that, so that's just cathode minus anode. Since we identify it as this, so this is just like that. So you will have 120, 1.20. And this one, I'm going to give you a link on how to solve questions like that. Okay? Although there's an answer key for that here if you want to go over there. So, I will leave up everything to you. So, I want you to go over both modules kung hindi nyo pa nagagawa yung module 7 and then module 8. And then I'm going to send to you all the things that you have. Anyway, this is what I can, alam niyo yung webpage ng YouTube, di ba? Yung YouTube channel ko. So, I'll try to, oh shoot, pinatay ko yung ano. Iba yung YouTube ko doon sa lecture kaysa doon sa short video. Pansin niyo? Yung channel. If it's in the lecture, I think it's the Elmer-Rico thing. Mahaba yung mga lecture doon. But if it's the short video, it is in the PCT NYC. Tama? So this is, pakita ko lang sa inyo ha. And I would say I'm thankful for you with coming up this idea, because my other courses here, it's not only you who's watching those videos. There's a lot of what we call things that watch those videos. So if you're going to go on this channel, so parehong may Elmer-Rico doon. So here, you see this electrolysis? I didn't give the link to you yet. But as I've told you, if you go to the channel, you can find it. So if you're going to look at here, so merong example dito. Oh, I posted it in group chat. The two problems set for module 7 and 8. So, yun lang yung ano for now. So I want you to take the time to watch the video and then start answering the problem set. Now, if you need guidance, hindi pa uploaded yun sa kinetics, but by the end of the week, it will be uploaded. Okay? So, I think what we're going to do, we're going to need to set the date kung kailan tayo magre-review before your fourth exam. And I agree with you that it should be after Christmas.